Legend tells us that the exiled tribes of Israel wandered, weeping bitterly from Assyria and Persia through the mountains of Afghanistan until they came to the enchanted valley of Kashmir. To this day, many of the residents of this valley call themselves Bnei Israel, the children of Israel. They kept the heritage of their ancestors until they were compelled to convert to Islam. In Chebrola village, near the city of Madras, lives a small community that claims its ancestors migrated from Kashmir. This is the story of the community called Beit Yaakov, the house of Jacob. Shmuel tells us that during the Great Famine of 1872, most of the Hebrew community converted to Christianity. The missionaries fed their own flock well, persuading many hungry people to convert. Before his death, Shmuel's grandfather gathered his children and told them their true origin, the tribe of Ephraim. When they found this out, the family and other members of the community decided to seek their way back to their Jewish brethren. They made themselves a synagogue and called it Beit Yaakov.
ఇస్రాయేల్ గురించి ఆలోచించాం. మరి కొంతమంది చెదిరిపోయి ఇటు వెళ్ళిపోయారనే అవగాహన కొన్ని గుర్తులు మరి మాకు చెప్పినటువంటి రబ్బీ గారు అక్కడికి వెళ్ళొచ్చి పరిశీలన చేసి ఈ విధంగా గుర్తులు కదా ఒకళ్ళు ఉన్నారు, మరి వాళ్ళు ఎవరు ఏంటి అనేది మేము పరిశీలించుకుంటే మరి దేవుడు చివరి దినాల్లో ఎరుసలేము చేరుస్తానన్నాడు కదా, అందుకని ఆయన ఎదిరిగి మమ్మల్ని అక్కడికి ఎవడు ఏమనుకున్నా ఎవడు ఏం చేసినా.
The remaining members of the sect, today numbering about 500,000, stayed Christian, but their customs, ranging from dress codes to meat handling, burial and marriage rituals, bear signs of their Jewish origin. To the Hindus, the entire sect is considered untouchable. In India, everyone belongs to a caste that determines social status and occupation from birth to death. At the lowest level of this system are the Untouchables, with whom all contact is forbidden. The Beit Yaakov claim that their classification as Untouchables originates in a misunderstanding, possibly because of their Jewish custom of eating meat, a grave sin in the Hindu faith. Hindus victimize Untouchables. A Hindu will not harm a cow, but he may beat an untouchable child who brushes against him inadvertently. Members of the Beit Yaakov community are prohibited from coming into contact with water sources of the other castes. Consequently, they must use separate wells or wait until nighttime.
All right, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakudash. Peace and double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that give us his truth and all the spirituality, and salutations to all y'all can pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth in sincerity and in truth. I'm the brother Yahweh, and this lesson will be concerning the Israelite foreigners, which are known in the New Testament as Gentiles. You know, and Christians have this notion that in order for you to be a Gentile, you have to be a non-Israelite. But according to the scriptures, that is not so. You know, a Gentile in the New Testament is speaking about Israelites that were scattered and learned the way of the Gentiles. That is why they were called Gentiles, because they became as the Gentiles. It's just like, for example, a so-called Jamaican that migrates to America and over the years, you know, ends up having a family, and, you know, that family is raised up in American customs. If they go back to Jamaica, they will call them Yankee boy, you know, because they adopted American customs. So it's the same thing dealing with the Gentiles. They were simply Israelites that were scattered abroad in other lands. Now, as you're going to see in a video, in the post-production video, you have, you know, these Untouchables of India. You know, they are Israelites according to the curses. You know, they fulfill the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And if you listen to what they say, you know, they say that they come from the west, you know, because India is east of the Middle East. So they say that they come from the west, coming from Assyria and Persia, you know, going right into India, you know, and that goes back to what happened to the northern kingdom of Israel, you know, once the king of Assyria came and took them out of the land. You know, he took them out of captivity, and eventually, you know, once it was over, they decided to leave and go into other countries. And the main countries they came to is the Americas, but they were scattered throughout different parts, you know, parts of Africa, you know, parts of the Middle East and Asia, you know. All over the earth, Israelites have always been scattered, man. The scattering goes back thousands of years, you know, so that's why we say you're going to have Israelites that look like so-called Indians, that look like so-called white people, that look like so-called Chinese, you know, that look like every other nation, because Israelites are literally scattered in every land. So now let's read the curses. This is Deuteronomy 28, and I'm going to start at 37. It says, "Thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee." So wherever Israelites are scattered, they're a proverb and a byword. A proverb and a byword are derogatory terms, such as nigger, wetback, spigs, and things of that nature. Well, over there they call them untouchables. Matter of fact, let's see what these words mean. The word astonishment is the strong concordance Hebrew word 8047. It says shema. It says waste, horror, appallment, a waste of land and city, appallment, horror. Yeah, when you look at our people, they're a waste. They're a wasteland wherever you go where Israelites live. If you go to the hood where so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans dwell, it's an appallment. When you see the way our people live, how poverty got us fucked up, how people do each other dirty, it's a wasteland, fulfilling the curses of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. It speaks about the valley of the dry bones. A dry valley is a wasteland. You see, it says from Shamat, and it means ruin, by implication, consternation, astonishment, desolate, wonderful thing. Yep, when you look at the root word, to be desolate, be appalled, stunned, stupefied. It's, hey man, you look at our people, you're like, man, what the fuck? Why are these people going through so much? Not only slavery, but after slavery even got worse. Jim Crow laws, all the lynchings and things that have been done unto us over the years. It's an appallment. It says to be desolate, be deflowered. You'd be deflowered because our people got, spiritually raped. We got snatched by force from West Africa and those lands that we used to dwell in, even in Rome. We used to dwell in Rome. We dwelt in all these different nations, man. Assyria, Babylon, Persia, So we dwelt in all those different lands, and that's what made us become scattered. We got taken by force and, spiritually started going astray by the ways of these other nations by following their gods. But let's go back to, let's see what proverb is. The word proverb is mashal. It says proverb, parable, proverbial saying, aphorism. Proverbial saying is like, if you want to hide anything from a nigga, put it in a book. And the only good Indian is a dead one. Those are proverbs. You see? Poem, sentences of ethical wisdom, ethical maxims. It says, in some original sense of superiority in mental action. So, superiority in mental action. Now, this is what the so-called white man, does. He puts these different bywords on our people so that way they could feel superior to us. They say that, we come from monkeys, and they say we're the closest thing to an ape, so that he could feel superior about himself. You see? So let's see what byword is. The word byword is shanayana. It says a sharp word, sharp cutting word, a taunt, a gibe. So a taunt, they use these sayings, to taunt us, to get a reaction out of us, man. You see? Yep. But yeah, let me read it again. It says Deuteronomy 28 and 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. And, in that video, they call them untouchables. Even though they look like so-called Indians, you see, which shows you it's not really about how you look or your skin color. It's really about your bloodline. And the other nations, they always knew that in ancient times, that your bloodline is what determines who you are, even if you look like that particular nation, you see. But let me jump down. Matter of fact, I'm going to read 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And that's where you see wherever our people dwell. You have other nations in our neighborhoods, making money off of us. The so-called white man has his stores in our neighborhoods, the so-called Chinese man, the so-called Arabs, the so-called East Indians. You see? They got up above us very high, and we came down very low. So as you see in that video, they have a caste system in India, which at the bottom is the untouchable, which proves that those are Israelites, man. Jakes, descendants, as the dude said, their forefathers told them that they descend from Ephraim and that they migrated from, the Middle East, you see? So they came down very low. It says, he shall lend to thee and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head and thou shalt be the tail. So whenever we need loans, car loans, house loans, student loans, or whatever it is, we have to go to the enemy for these things, you see? It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. So those curses pursued us, like a dark cloud, wherever we went. Even if we disguised, ourselves, look like other nations, those curses still befall us because those curses is to the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And there's nothing you could do to take it off besides returning to your heritage as Israelites, and serving your true power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It says, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So they're upon the seed line of Israel, the race of our people forever. So that's why when you look at so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and their descendants that are scattered throughout the earth, they go through the same trials and tribulations, you see? And nobody else goes through the things that we go through as a people. So I'm going to jump down. This is Deuteronomy 28 and let's see, 60. I'm going to start at 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And this is what happened to us in slavery. We were brought to naught, you see, because we forsook Yahweh Bashim Yahushua by transgressing against him. Therefore, he brought these curses upon us. It says, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whether thou goest to possess it. And that's what happened. The northern kingdom of Israel, so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, they got plucked out by the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria put heathens in the land, Ethiopians, men from Babylon, which were Cushites. So they placed them in the land and took the tribes with them. But you still had remnants of the northern kingdom that was still in the land of Israel, because it tells you in the time of Yahushua, there was a woman of Asher that was in the land. So you still had remnants of the northern kingdom, but majority of them got carried over to Assyria as captives, you see? And once they got out of their captivity, they spread abroad, throughout the Middle East and Asia, but, mainly through America, because it tells you in the history in 2 Ezra the 13th chapter, how they took counsel among themselves that they would go to another land where never mankind dwelt, which was the Americas. But, you still had remnants left behind, such as those that you see in the video, those Untouchables. It says, verse 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So the Lord scattered us from one place to another, man. All people, literally, all 18 nations of the Bible, have Israelites dwelling amongst them. The Arabs, they have Israelites dwelling amongst them. If you go to Gaza, they have a group of people that they call Al-Abid, which means slave people, which they are descendants of the trans-Saharan and transatlantic slave trade. You see, if you go to China, you got descendants of Israelites over there. You go to different parts of Africa, all over the earth, man. And there we serve other gods that our fathers have not known, wood and stone. We serve in Christianity. We serve in Islam. We serve in, Vishnu and Krishna and, all them different heathen pagan gods, man. You see? So that's a curse. It says, and among these nations shall thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. So we never been at rest, man. Always, going through some type of turmoil, never getting a break, man. Relentless punishment, man. And you see them Untouchables going through it. They ain't finding no ease, even though they look like East Indians, man. So it says, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. So that's why wherever Israelites are, we sorrowful, man. We're depressed. It says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. So we have no assurance of our life. You don't know how you're going to make it to tomorrow. You don't know what comes next. This is the norm for a majority of our people, man. Not knowing where the next meal is going to come from. Not knowing, if they're going to survive the next day, because they don't know, watch out for the ops, like Jake say. They got enemies amongst themselves, You're not scared of what the future is going to bring, you see? So that's to show you that these curses only apply to Israelites, man. And if this, if these curses fit you, although you look like another nation, then you most likely Israelite, man. You see? So we're not hanging on skin color like the media try to portray us, to be about skin color. Oh, black Hebrew Israelites. And the way they say that shit is as if they got some kind of mucus that they're about to spit out. Blah! Hebrew Israelites. No, man. Because if you look, we have so-called Hispanics amongst us. So-called Latinos. They're not black. So how can you call us black Hebrew Israelites if you got Latinos amongst us? You even got brothers that got so-called white people in their camps, which we believe through the spirit that they are Israelites. So how can we be black Hebrew Israelites, man? So it's not about color. You know, it's about heritage. It's about lineage. This is 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 19. And this is the Most High speaking to Solomon. It says, "But if ye turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods and worship them, then will I pluck them up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them. And this house, which I have sanctified for my name, will I cast out of my sight, and will make it to be a proverb and a byword among all nations." So that was the curse that the Lord told Solomon would happen to the Israelites for him going to serve other gods. You see? Because if the head is sick, then the whole body's sick. You see? So we know King Solomon in the reincarnation through the Spirit was Yahushua. So because King Solomon went off, it caused the rest of the nation to go off. And therefore, these curses came upon them. That's why when you read Hebrews, it says, by the sin of one man, all came under transgression. So by the obedience of one shall all basically receive eternal life, which ultimately is going back into Adam. King Solomon was also Adam in the reincarnation. He transgressed and therefore, made all of Israel and mankind, put them in the predicament they're in today. But because of the obedience of Yahushua, we're going to receive, the kingdom of heaven by having faith in him. So, yep. So that's it on that. Now let's get Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 17. "Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman." So Israel, when they were in the land, they were committing all types of abominations, worshiping other gods, worshiping Molech, worshiping Baal, worshiping what's some of these other gods, Dagon, and the gods of all the other nations. You see, and they weren't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. So they defiled the land. So they became as the uncleanness of a removed woman. A woman, when she's on her monthly, according to scriptures, she's supposed to get removed from the congregation. She's supposed to have her own place separate from where she lives, so she could dwell during that period of time of uncleanness. Verse 18, "Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they polluted it." So Israel, was murdering each other back then. You see, just like Jake do today. It's worse now than ever before, but it was happening back then as well. Jake was sacrificing their sons and daughters unto Molech. So it says, "And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries, according to their way and according to their doings I judged them." So as a curse, the Most High put upon us, we read it in Deuteronomy 20:64, we will be scattered throughout all people. So the Lord scattered us among the heathen, and we were dispersed through the countries, man. You see, every single continent, every single country on the planet Earth has Israelites dwelling in them. It says, "And when they entered unto the heathen, whether they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said to them, These are the people of the Lord, and are gone forth out of his land. But I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whether they went." So the Lord had pity upon his name, which is why he gave us his name and, his truth. You see, because the Lord has pity upon his name. We carry the names of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua as a nation. So if the Lord just, let us out there be polluted, then that's his name being polluted, man. So we got to represent, the Lord got to make us represent. This is why you got the prophets that rose up, and all the men that's coming back to their true nationality, man. The brothers. It says, "Therefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshua power, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whether ye went." So the Lord is not doing this for our sake. He's doing it for his name. You see? So that he gets the glory. Not because of our works, because we're profane, man. It says, "And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshua power, saith the Lord Yahweh, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes." So the Lord is going to be sanctified in Israel before the heathen's eyes, man. So it's all part of the movie for Israel to be in every land. So that way, when the Most High brings the deliverance, every land, everywhere could see the salvation of the Israelites, the righteous Israelites. You see, it says, "For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and bring you into your own land." So the Most High is going to be the one to deliver us of all countries, man. It's not going to be through a Balfour Declaration where you got to hop on a plane, fuel the plane, go through turbulence, lay the plane and then find a place to stay. No, the Most High himself is going to take us out through the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of the Heavenly Father. You see? It says, "Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you." So we're not going to be worshiping other gods anymore in the kingdom, man. We're going to have a new heart. Like it says, a new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. So, this is going to be the new covenant, where the Most High is going to send Yahushua to save the elect and give them those new bodies that are going to be programmed with his law, statutes, and commandments. And that, will make them unable to go off. You see? It says, and I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. So there you go. The Most High is going to put his spirit upon us so that we never go off again, But let me get this real quick. Acts chapter 2, verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. You see, so Israelites, even back then, the Jews, the so-called Negro, West Indian, and Haitian, were already scattered throughout every nation because they went through more captivities than the Northern Kingdom. They went through the Babylonian captivity. They went through the Persian, the Greek, and the Roman captivity. You see? So back then they was already scattered. It says, now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded because that every man heard them speak in his own language. Yeah, because the disciples, they were blessed with the gift of tongue, which is to speak other languages. Not that bullshit you hear in the church. That bullshit, man. No, the gift of tongue is speaking in other languages, not babbling and confusion, man. Scripture tell you the Most High is not the author of confusion. Sitting here speaking in a tongue that nobody understands, that not even you understand. Just fucking gibberish, man. These Christian churches are a joke. Verse 7, and they were all amazed, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? Man, these men speak Hebrew? And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? See? So they hear it in their own tongues wherein they were born. So that means most of them didn't even speak Hebrew. It says Parthians and Medes and Elamites. So there you go. Elamites too, which Elamites is so-called East Indians, the Persians. You see? So those what's it called? Those untouchables, they're Israelites among the Elamites, man. That doesn't mean that they were Elamite, by bloodline. It means that they dwell among the Elamites, man. So even back then, you had Jakes that was scattered amongst the Elamites. It says, and the dwellers in Mesopotamia, and in Judea, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Asia, Phrygia, and Pamphylia, and Egypt, and in the parts of Libya, about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews, and proselytes, Greeks, and Arabians. We do hear them speak in our own tongues the wonderful works of the Most High. You see? So, the disciples, they got blessed with the gift of tongues, and they started speaking those languages, and it was amazing. Like, how the hell, do we each man hear them in our own tongue, man? You see? So even back then, there was a scattering, man. Now let's get Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. It says, matter of fact, verse 10, it says, and in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To which shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. So their root is speaking about Yahushua. You see? Yahushua is an ensign to us, a sign of salvation. And to which shall the Gentiles seek? The Gentiles right there is speaking about Israelites. You see? Because you can't seek Yahweh Shem Yahushua unless you're an Israelite, man. And it says, Yahushua said what? No man can come to me except my Father, which have sent me, draw him. The only way the Most High could draw you is if you're an Israelite, man. Matter of fact, this is Jeremiah 30:21. And their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them. And that's speaking about the kingdom of heaven. And I will cause him to draw near, which is Jacob, the Israelites, and he shall approach unto me. For who is this that engages his heart to approach unto me, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua. So you don't choose to come to the Lord. The Lord chooses you to come to him. You see? So back in Isaiah 11:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. So the first time the Lord recovered the Israelites was during the time of Egypt. So this prophecy has yet to take place. It's speaking about very soon, the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. So Israelites are scattered everywhere, man. Among the Cushites, the so-called Ethiopians, you got Israelites amongst them, man. They still know they're Israelites. Because when you go into the scattering of 70 AD, the Jews, they went throughout all of Africa, and throughout Europe and Asia. You see? So you got Israelites literally in every land. It says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So from the four corners of the earth, man. You see? And we're going to get that. Yahushua said he's going to gather his elect from the four winds. It says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. So the tribes are going to come in unity. Jeremiah 50 and 30 or 31, it speaks about, the children of Israel and the children of Judah being oppressed together, and And it also goes into how, we're going to come and weeping before the Lord and ask the way to Zion. So that's what we're doing right now. It says, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. So that's going into the deliverance. After we get saved, Lord's will with those men, the elect are going to come down and enslave the rest of the nations that's across the earth that are not Israelites. That's in Revelation 2 and 25 and 26. Are the ones that make it, the Israelites that make it, Yahweh Shah is going to give them power over the nations to rule them with a rod of iron. You see? This is Matthew chapter 24 and 29. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken, which is going into World War III. When the missiles come down and darken the skies, from the nuclear winter, the fallout. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. So Yahweh Shah is coming, in heaven. You see, with the holy angels, man, the so-called UFOs, and the tribes of the earth are going to mourn, man. Speaking about Israelites, but also the rest of the nations. Everybody's going to mourn because he's not coming for peace. He's coming for bloodshed, for war, for judgment. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So the elect, scattered from the four winds of heaven, man. And in order for you to be the elect, you have to be an Israelite, man. Christians just think that just because you believe in Jesus Christ, you could be part of the elect. No. Isaiah 45 and 4. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect. So Israel is the chosen nation, man. Which the Israelites is you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Not those people in the land of Israel. It says, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. You see? So the Most High put his name upon us, man. Yeshua Allah. He is a prince of the Most High. So now let's go to Revelation chapter 7. Verse 1, it says, and after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servant of our power in their foreheads. Now, that wind, that's going to blow, speaking about the, what's it called? There's a name for it, but it's not coming to me right now. But it's that wind from the nuclear blast, The scriptures call it a destroying wind that the Lord is going to raise up. So the angels pretty much are waiting for the elect, of Israel to be sealed before the missiles could come down. This is why World War III hasn't popped off right now. This is why World War III ain't popped off during the Cold War. You see? Because the elect weren't sealed yet. It says, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their forehead. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So that shows you, in order to be sealed, you have to be an Israelite, man. I be seeing Christians with the 144,000, symbols, as if, they could just make it just by being Christian. No, man. White Christians, man. You cannot be, a Edomite and make it into the kingdom, man. You got to be a descendant of Israel, to make it, even though you might look white, but as you read, it's going to tell you the 12,000 from each tribe of Israel. But when you jump down, it says verse 9, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, out of all nations, kindreds, and peoples, and tongues. As we read the same thing in Acts the 2nd chapter and the 5th verse, as well as Isaiah the 11th chapter. Israelites are scattered throughout every nation, kindred, peoples, and tongue. It says, stood before the Lord and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our God which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. You see? So that's what the elect are going to say, man. They're going to praise Yahweh Shema Shah, after the deliverance, man. So those great multitude is speaking about the 1/3 of the nation of Israel. Because we know, according to Zechariah 13 and 8, 2/3 of our people are going to be cut off and die. But the third is going to remain. So the 144,000, that's the government body. And then you have the rest of the 1/3, which consists of Israelite, foreigners, Israelites that look like other nations, that look like East Indians, that look like so-called white people, that look like so-called Chinese, and sons and daughters, wives and families, friends of the elect, you see, that's going to make it, man. So that's that great multitude, you see, Israelites, all Israelites, man. And even when you go into the word, I believe it's nations. Yep, when you go into the word nations, it says a multitude, whether of men or beasts, associated or living together, And it says a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, which is Israelites. It says, let's see. Is it this one? Or maybe and when you look it up in a blue letter, but when you look it up in a blue letter, it'll say, you know, one of the tribes of Jacob. Maybe it's kindred. Matter of fact, yep, it's kindred, Slakia. It's the word for kindred is G5443. It says Fule, and it says in the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. So there you go. You know, only Israelites is going to make it. The Israelites, Gentiles, and Israelites that know that they're Israelites. The ones that look like other nations, you know, and the ones that look like typical Israelites, so-called Negro, Hispanic, or Native American. But yeah, that was pretty much it on that. You know, with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, honor to Yahweh, Bashim Hashah, Bashim Hakodash. Peace and double honors to the apostles, the elders, the GMS to give us his truth and all his purity. And salutations to all your occupation in this word throughout the four corners of the earth, as sincerity and the truth. Shalom.